Ella, we were just having fun. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by golden fields and tall trees, there lived a young girl named Ella. Her family was not wealthy. In fact, they were among the poorest in the village. Her father was a farmer, working under the scorching sun, tilling the land to put food on the table, while her mother made handcraft goods to sell at the local market. Though they had little, they shared love, laughter, and a strong bond that made them rich in a way that money couldn't buy. Ella grew up with a radiant heart and a keen mind. She was known throughout the village for her kindness, respect, and humility. Many admired her positive attitude and warm smile. Despite the challenges her family faced, Ella's parents made sure she received an education, believing that education was a path out of poverty. As Ella blossomed into a young girl, her hard work and her family's sacrifice paid off. She received a university scholarship. The whole village celebrated her achievement. She was the first in her family to reach such a milestone. Her parents beamed with pride, and her neighbors cheered her on, sending her off with blessings and words of encouragement. When Ella arrived at the university, it was as though she had entered a whole new world. The campus was vast, filled with grand buildings and people dressed in fine clothes. Many of her classmates came from wealthy families, and she felt like a small fish in a big, glittering ocean. At first, Ella clung to her value, studying diligently and remaining humble. But slowly, as the days turned to weeks, she began to change. One day, Ella met Kobi, a wealthy and charismatic man with a charming smile. Kobi was known for his lavish lifestyle. He drove an expensive car, wore designer clothes, and threw extravagant parties. Many girls admired him, but Kobi had eyes only for Ella. Flattered by his attention, Ella quickly found herself drawn to him. Kobi's influence was like a siren call, pulling her away from the simplicity of her upbringing. She began dressing in expensive clothes, attending lavish parties with Kobi, and neglecting her studies. The once good girl no longer felt the same warmth towards her parents. Their poverty seems like a stain on her new life. When they called to check on Ella, she often ignored their calls or spoke to them in a cold, dismissive tone. Ella's parents grew worried. They could sense the distance and change in behavior of their daughter, but they held onto hope, praying that their daughter would find her way back. As time passed, Ella's relationship with Kobi became intense. She now became a big girl in the campus, very popular and wearing expensive dresses. She was enamored by Kobi's wealth, believing that with him, she would escape her past forever. But this new life came at a price. Kobi, whom she had trust in, was not a man who valued families or commitment. He enjoyed the thrill of the moment and expected Ella to do whatever he wanted. Over the course of their relationship, Ella found herself pressured into making decisions she later regretted. She went through multiple abortions for Kobi, each one leaving a scare on her heart and her health. Yet, she continued to stay by Kobi's side believing he was her future. She was also carried away by Kobi's money without minding any of the negative attitude she was having. One evening, while they were driving to the supermarket to get some stuff for themselves, Ella, brimming with hope and dreams of a life together, gathered the courage to bring up the idea of marriage to Kobi. But Kobi's response was eyes and final. He laughed, dismissing her dream with a wave of his hand. Marriage? Kobi scoffed. Ella, we were just having fun, and you know that. I have no plans to settle down, especially not with someone who shares my past so completely. With surprise, how heavy Kobi's response was to Ella. She felt as though her world had scattered. The reality of his words hit her like a storm. The reply was heavy. Then she noticed her sacrifices, the pain she do endured, the family she do neglected. It all seemed meaningless at that moment. Desperate, she tried to remind Kobi of their years together, but Kobi had already moved on in his mind, viewing her as just another chapter in his life of indulgence. That was when Ella noticed Kobi was only playing game with her. Ella got angry and broke up with Kobi and went home, crying uncontrollably. The next week, the result came out in the university, and when Ella checked her own, she found out she failed almost the whole course because of how unserious she was with her studies. The girl who once gained admission has been expelled because of her poor performance. Ella felt as if the world was against her. Heartbroken and feeling betrayed, Ella returned to the village. She had lost her scholarship, her university dreams, and the man she thought loved her. She had also lost touch with the essence of who she was, a kind, respectful young woman from a humble family. Her once bright spirit was weighed down by shame and regret. When she arrived at her parents' home, she found them sitting by the small fire in their kitchen. The sight of her mother and father, won by hard work but still filled with love, broke her heart. She fell to her knees, weeping, begging for their forgiveness. To her greatest surprise, they held her close, comforting her with gentle words. We all lose our ways sometimes, her mother said softly, but love brings us back home. The once trending girl in the village before she left has now become a chaff and everybody's topic in the whole village. Ella became so ashamed of herself. Ella spent the following months trying to rebuild her life. She helped her parents on the farm, reconnecting with the family she had once turned her back on. With their support, she slowly regained her sense of purpose. She volunteered at a nearby school, teaching children from the village, determined to help them avoid the mistakes she had made. In time, Ella found peace in the simple joy she had once cherished. The warmth of her family's love, the strength of her community, and the knowledge that every mistake is a lesson. She became a role model in the village once more, not for her success, but for her resilience, humility, and the wisdom she had gained. Through her struggle, Ella learned that true wealth was not found in riches, but in the strength of character and the love of those who stand by us, no matter what. And as she looked to the future, she vowed to live in a way that honored her roots, her family, and the value that she had shaped her.